All right. Hello, everybody from all around the world. Hope you're enjoying this nice evening. If you're not, well, if you're doing something, if someone has threatened your loved ones or you're just about to be in debt, just sit down, relax, and enjoy this nice qualifying session for the DTM GP4 OC of 2021. And the name is obviously Rents, as you all know me, and from what from what I heard before, all Mironecci actually went to get water, so I don't know.
No,
I
I'm here. I'm here.
okay. Now he's actually here. So yes, to join me is now one of the lasting co-commentators for the rest of the season, Mironecci. What's up?
Hello. Surprised you stopped calling me Mevji, but yeah, it's uh, it's great to join you once again, Rens, for DTM. I'm glad to be on board for as one of the co-commentators alongside you for the rest of the season. It's going to be a very fun experience. But yes, we're back at Assen after quite a while. I think this is going to be quite exciting, actually.
Yeah, it's been the last time we raced. I think it was in 2010, right? Yeah, about when
Yeah.
I was still racing, when I was still a young guy going around the track and doing what I can. I literally have not ever raced in Assen. Like actual in sim racing. I've not actually done. Have you had any experience in Assen? Have you ever gone to this track?
No, actually not. I'm quite unfamiliar with the circuit, actually.
Yeah, me too. I literally don't know. I don't know what to expect. It's been a long time since I actually watched watched anything. On Assen. Obviously, Zandvoort, as everybody knows. That's the best track I think on in F1, and probably like it's such a roller coaster. But anyways, last time around, Rifki Fakhrizadeh took the lead of the championship with just a phenomenal pace. I gotta say, what are your thoughts in this? Just like Cereznia's championship streak, ended right there. Like now he's back. He's on the back check basically. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Fakhrizadeh obviously is on great form coming off of Silverstone. He's been strong all season, I'd say. Cherezny obviously didn't have the greatest Silverstone race. Strategy and traffic really held him up and just sent him down the order. And he's going to want to hope to try and close that gap down to Fakhrizadeh, the already very minuscule gap, and try and retake the championship from Fakhrizadeh, obviously. So I think it's going to be close. Obviously, both parties are going to be pushing as much as possible to try and secure the pole here today. Every point's going to matter.
Definitely, I absolutely agree. But one thing that also does really matter is like keeping it. Again, these guys have now a lot of pressure. These are the top two names, so it's just like who can like throw them off? Like one of the few drivers. We'll see probably in this race who will be the top dog. Mateusz Turvik and Cerezny have had a bit of real battling. Mateusz Turvik has always gone. He's always put himself in the right spot, but just really unlucky. So be also aware of him. Anyways, I think we should probably just start the goddamn qualifying session. Florian, what are you doing? Okay, there it is. So it's actually going to be raining in 2 hours, so it's basically completely past. You could go. I gotta say, if you're ever gonna be there after 2 hours, there's gonna be no one there. It's gonna be a ghost town.
Maybe you'll want to enjoy the rain by yourself. I do not know.
Maybe just like walking around the track until a wild Bert Mylander just goes around and completely mows you down. But yeah, actually look at that. I look at the nice view there. A little bit of gravel. I am not really familiar with this. Bit of cool buildings out there. Apparently a stadium. It looks like maybe like I think it's actually more in the paddock. I don't know. I actually do not know. So maybe someone in the chat. Maybe you could read the chat, Mirren, and actually someone tells us the history of Aston. But yeah, here is Miran Usman. No, Usman Hamid. I always say Miran Usman Hamid. I don't know why. But okay, let's go to Rifki Fakhrizadeh, our championship leader, who's probably I don't know who's gonna actually start off quite soon. I don't know if he's actually find. I don't know if he's not finding him. There he is, Rifki Fakhrizadeh. comfortably in his car, just waiting for the give and go from his mechanic. Phew, I gotta say, what's I mean, I can't really predict. I can't give you any predictions now on who could, but it's Resnia, Sturt. Really, even I think Martinez has been really close to pole position, I have to say.
Yeah, there's been a lot of contenders for pole position so far this season. There's been a lot of people looking strong in qualifying, and yeah, it is interesting so far how qualifyings have been this season. Also, Joe in chat says that this track is mainly hosts MotoGP races. It's one of the cornerstones of motorcycle racing, along with the Suzuka 8 Hours and the Isle of Man TT. So there you go.
Oh, that's actually some nice knowledge. Credit to Joe Willows right there. Always basically the mega mind of this GP4 OC. He's gonna love that probably. I don't know if he's gonna love that. He's gonna probably hate me for the rest of his life. But anyways, actually quite a flat track, I have to say. It's not exactly like roller coasters we saw in Dijon, France.
Yeah, the circuit is quite flat, and well, I guess if you know your Dutch geography, it's not a very mountainous country. It is quite flat, so I guess.
I don't know. Some tracks I do like a bit of elevation changes because it just the how do I say, the G forces. It's those are incredible. How you can just throw yourself in. It's like I love mostly like elevation change of tracks. This part of Umar Usman Hamid actually it reminds me of a bit of like Imola last chicane. But I'll let you commentate through this lap.
So on board with a lap of Assen with Mohammed Usman Hamid into the first corner, the Haarbocht, turn number 1, as you go through this little chicane called Witterdiep. Then into the second braking zone, turn number 3 on the inside line there, late apex. Then through Ossebroeken, my Dutch pronunciation is not the best, so you'll have to excuse me. And then into the right-hander of Strubben. Or no, this is Strubben now, this little hairpin. Down its first gear. Late on the throttle there a bit, it looked like, but it's no issue. A lot of small little kinks down the straight. Into Ruskenhoek, the left-hander, into the right of Steckenwall. As the sound goes there a bit, but it's no problem. You can see they're on into the Bult as well through Mandeville. It's a long right-hander. This one's 2 corners, as you can see. A bit hard to calculate your exit through here. It's no problem. Through Movenmeer, and then through the final few corners here. Left-hand, there's a tiny bit of camber there. Now through the Geert Timmerbocht. The final chicane, bit tricky to get right, but can apply the throttle very early here, and then just to the line.
Yeah, 137.5. Let's see what the Bobo can. I gotta say, it looked like a scruffy lap by Usman Hamid. The Bobo doesn't actually beat it. Sazonov does. Newer, what can she do? Not actually does go in, at least in just top 2. Mackenzie, former front driver, not only 5th for now. Rosetta Martinez, one of them. I gotta say, I'm expecting a bit more out of him or them this season, but now like a second place, and only just Adventure goes 5th for now. Xavier V goes 9th. Not a good. Mevchi goes 4th. Few apparently have done a solid lap there. Teresny only 9th. Tervik, the other pole, actually, I think that's unfair. Not the other pole, but yeah, he goes 8th. Sahin goes 4th. Solid results for Sahin. They're in 4th. Stackers, they're now championship leader. They're in 5th.
Yeah, the times are coming in, but yeah, Shine, very solid stuff from him. As P4's Clark now goes fastest by a 10th of a second. As Campani to 12th. Parrish takes the top spot by 2/10 of a second. Wolf slots into 2nd. Then we have Moratella across the lines, P19 for him, and Titkov should be the last man across as he goes into P5. So that's all the 22 times on the board, and it is Will Parrish who is fastest.
Yeah, I gotta say, that's 1/10 faster, but the field is a bit like spread out. So I obviously, as always, there's always going to be some improvements later on. But Parrish, I think that's the time. I maybe I gotta say maybe he could snatch. He could improve. Remember, once you set a time, you can always improve. The track always gets a bit more rubbery. Everything heats up. The track just becomes, the track evolution is really a necessity for your improvement. I'll always, as you know, as a fan of like, why can't they just set, laps after lap after lap after lap? No, I realize tire wear, fuel, that all plays into factor. Not to mention energy modes and all those, just, and also basically driver mentality.
Yeah, of course. How everything is set up in qualifying sessions when it comes to most and almost all racing series is that you do one sprint, one flying lap that, where you go all out, that you push to the maximum and you push the car to the maximum and everything, and then you come in again. So as you said, there's stuff like tire wear and fuel playing as a factor. So it really is just one lap where you have to get it all perfect and you're just pushing everything to the limit. So it's great to see.
That's why it's called that's why it's called a hot lap and not the hot laps. I know that I completely, that was not a good pun at all. That completely fell flat as a pancake there. Titkov in P5, one of our race winners this season. We had Rifki. Remember, Rifki is one of the guys who has won. A bit, my throat hurts a little bit. I'm very sorry. He has won 2 races, so it's just like, who could join him in that double win category?
I mean, Cherezhny, obviously, I'd say would be the first person that comes to my head. But I mean, you have some other guys there as well. You've got people like Mateusz Turvik, he's up there, and hell, later even down the line, we could see people like Adam Wolf, because he's been really strong this season. From what it seems, I mean, yeah, he's had a few retirements and a few hairy moments, but he seems to have good pace throughout the seasons, and I think if he does get it together, we could see him up there. And then you got people like Sazonov as well, who scored 2 poles in a row, but he hasn't been able to secure the victory. So I'd say people like Sazonov and it's a Cherezhny, and then maybe Adam Wolf as well. Who knows?
Yeah, I really want some wins that actually do matter. And I gotta say, I'm one of those drivers that love a cushion, like a championship extension. Like if I have a 2-race lead over someone, like the 2-race lead basically would mean 22 points and not 20 points, because remember, qualifying you get 1 point. So like having a two-race advantage, that's basically like that's Christmas come early. I would love that, but that's all fantasy, and this is really hard work right here. Let's see if Osman Hamid does. Actually, as you mentioned before, Osman Hamid did struggle. He was struggling with a bit of traction. He couldn't flatten out the wheel, get it. Oh yeah, open up the steering. He couldn't get on the throttle, properly. He always had to overcorrect a bit. So maybe he could improve into P5.
Yeah, the lap from Usman Hamid wasn't perfect, so we'll see if he can nail it this time, as he's got, I believe that is the BMW of Moratelli up ahead, so hopefully that won't, Moratelli won't impede him too much. Either way, he is gonna make his way down the Vinslang, so we're gonna see if he's gonna manage an improvement as he heads through the second sector. Gonna see second sector time in a tiny bit here.
And he has improved, but due to the slipstream Mortelli, obviously now he's gonna get held up a little bit. We'll see if he can, kind of maybe just stay behind. Maybe he could push Mortelli, but then remember, these cars, they don't lose out. It's not like stock cars. If you push a stock car into a corner, they're heavy, but these cars are kind of, how can I explain it? They're just aerodynamically advanced. That's the thing. You can kind of push them. I think it was, I don't actually remember if you remember this. I think it was not Leandro Felix da Costa. maybe it was I don't know if it was the Grassi. There was like an F3 race, I think, and he in Monza basically pushed someone, like bomb drafted in a Formula 3 car, Formula 3 or Formula 4. That was probably the most craziest thing I've ever seen, man.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
that was probably so. Newerville goes second, so she's keeping up her form right there. So yeah, even her mechanic is absolutely astounded to that. Mackenzie goes 10 for now. You don't improve. Sad for you. Beckerzane apparently did kind of get improvement, but not in terms of position. Xavier we solid third there. Mateusz Tövik, absolutely no daylight for him. Adventure cracks the top 10 for now. Fosbury goes first. Solid.
Yeah, that's a really solid lap from Jared Fosbury. Going to witness his fellow countryman Will Neller come across the line as he goes P7. James Sturt is next across as well. He does not improve, but Martinez behind him does into P7. Former poleman Parrish can't do it, can't improve, neither can Wolf. Kai Tereshnia, who is down in P21, let's see if he can get himself out of there. He goes P12 for the time being.
Yes, he basically switched around the numbers. He was P21, now he's P12. So apparently he's doing some magic right there. Campana, I gotta say, Campana has been one of the most mid-table runners I think I could actually think of. I really want to see his race. He has been in DTM a bit. I think he has had some experience elsewhere. So I really expect kind of more from him. Same as Swery Bobo, who's most experienced guy. So, and that was actually Mortelli also cracking the top 10. Most of the other drivers not having a bit of luck, and still the gaps are really high. But still, I gotta say, what's more impressive that the top three are separated just by half a tenth almost in like a 1 minute 30-second lap. That's impressive, I have to say.
Yeah, it's they're cutting it really close at the top there. Especially Parrish and Newell, they're so close to getting the provisional pole time. Well, Parrish was on the provisional pole before, but yeah, it's insanely close at the top, and it really goes to show that the skill levels at the top are still really close.
That's always absolutely great to see there. So now we're almost halfway through the session, and Clark, they're in 6th place, I have to say. So he's actually near Adam Wolf, a fellow Brit, and also Xavier. Xavier is Indonesian. Don't know why I thought of him as a Brit, but yeah, Clark. He actually did surprise me out of nowhere. Just I was shocked to see him finish solid. So maybe that home advantage hasn't really stopped him, in this quali session.
Yeah, true. He's been doing quite well, I'd say. Not a lot to comment on that. Except I think Javier Wee is Singaporean, not Indonesian.
Rifki is Indonesian and Wee is Singaporean. So I can't get my flags still right to this day on this little tiny phone. But yes, Titkov, as I previously mentioned, one of our race winners, and Titkov, how do I say it? He has. I can't say he has a lot of pressure from back home, since that will cause a lot of controversy. But yeah, he has shown some races, but I think he's one of those drivers that only shows in a couple of races, and then for the rest of the season he's going to disappear. I do wish that he won't disappear. He won't disappear in the near future. In the near future.
Well, yeah, obviously he's had a standout performance this race or this season so far at Dijon, but it's not scored not even a point in the other races. So
yeah, it reminds me of Ricardo last season, basically. Just like he was, Ricardo was really bad out of nowhere. He just got a win. So maybe I want to see someone. I mean, it's early. It's too early to tell. But I'm that kind of guy that sees things ahead of time. So maybe someone's gonna just write this on my gravestone when I die. But yeah, Let's see. Actually, Fosbury, he's out on track for now. Let's see. I want to see if he could actually, defend his pole time somehow. I thought there was going to be a solid, benchmark, time, but it was actually for further from it. But top 5 is still within a shot.
Yeah, it is close, and I think anyone can get themselves into the top 5 with a good lap, I'd say.
There's still Sazano, James Sturt. He's still, still there. Obviously, championship leader, Fakkerzane, still could improve and take. Because remember, your starting position is always going to be a factor in later on in the race, because a lot of commotion, a lot of carnage happens right at the back.
Oh yeah, of course. Lap 1 crashes and stuff obviously gets hairy into the first few corners, and yeah, especially at the back. It's a great way for those who didn't really qualify well to still make their way up the field.
Yeah, we have a bit of. Looks like the track there are only just a few improvements. Actually, it doesn't seem like the track is fast for some. It's Titkov is improving a little bit. Let's see what he can do. It's a 30. He's on pace for maybe like a 2/10th improvement. We'll see if this lap is good enough. And apparently, I don't know if the cameraman is, but the race director is going completely. And there you go, 5th place, solid lap at Titkov, nice. Let's see if Bobo you can use any of his experience to just squeeze any bit of pace he has, any kind of time he has left in his career and on this lap. Let's see if he cracks the top 10, not top 5, not even the top 10, not even the top 15. Man, that's Bobo. What's going on with him?
Yeah, it's a shame for Bobo. We didn't seem to get the improvement necessary on that lap. We're going to watch me on FG as he rounds the final chicane. So he's going to cross the line here, and it's no improvement for him. So he'll stay P20. One thing I've noticed, Fakkerzane, there he is down in 18th place. He just improved up to. And Mateusz Turwik is down in last place at the moment. So I don't know what's happening with Rivki here at Assen, but he just really isn't able to find the pace at the moment. And neither can Turwik as well. And that is good news for Cherezny, as I mean, he's not in the points, but he is currently ahead as Sazonov goes fastest by 600th of a second there, and Turwik actually does improve into P9 this Turwik.
Yeah, so Sazonov actually goes into the 36.8. So that's the first driver in those margins right there. So that's a solid lap by him. Let's see if Clark can kind of defend what what he was, but no, stays there in the top 10 for now. Campano, one of the midfield drivers this season, doesn't kind of improve. Sturt, can he muster up anything? Musters up, I don't know, musters up butter and only goes 12th. Cherezny, come on, man. You have to get that championship, kind of get another point at least, in if anything happens in the race, and that's a good lap there in 6th.
Yeah, that is definitely what Cherezny needed, and that's brought him into 6th place and into the points. And he is just going to have to hope that Fakkerzane stays where he is at the moment in P20, because that would really be a massive benefit for the Polish driver. As we're on board with Adam Wolf, there's, I think, someone making the overtake. Is that Will Parrish, may I wonder? Who was trying it, I think.
I believe so, but I do believe so. So remember, Rivki Fakkerzane had that retirement. I gotta say, he could have been a bit ahead. Okay, let's say in Dijon he was, at the back, but he could have, scored a point. Maybe he would have gotten the championship lead. Maybe it's Dijon. I mean, who knows? Maybe we couldn't see the clear cut of his pace. So it goes really for a lot of the drivers. But and actually just Mugello is basically like where the championship basically could have gone either way. I think that's going to be one of the races to look back on.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree with you that Mugello could have been a make or break moment for either of the championship contenders for the time being. So yeah, but hey, there's still a long season to go. I mean, we're not even halfway yet. So
Yeah. It's always in my theory. It's always what builds up. But this is GP4, and anything happen, and everything will happen. I'm gonna make that my own quote there. Adam Wolf there in ninth. Actually, do want to see. I want to go. Who's the one that I want to kind of praise or or slander? No, that's kidding. I'm not gonna slander anybody just yet. Probably I don't know. Let's go to Martinez. Yeah, let's go to Martinez.
He's been, I mean, he's been pointless basically throughout the entirety of the season. Only man to not score points alongside Jared Fosbury. And
Yeah, and that's actually that's a thing. Martinez has been vocal about their performance. They said they want to do better. It's been reported in the news sites. The headlines have been, I just want to do better. I can wholeheartedly agree on in her in their way. Not see that's gonna bite me back probably throughout the season in their way. So yeah, maybe some other drivers should just kind of do some things private. That's the thing. Some drivers do some things privately. Some do it vocally. But everything you say in the public can you can be chewed out. Everybody will use that as your weakness. And what's your opinion on that?
well, saying things in front of an audience and potentially a lot of people that can hear you, you really have to be careful with your words. I do agree with you with what you said that if you do say one thing wrong, people would chew it up and you'll possibly get misinterpreted, and that can ruin your reputation. So yeah.
Especially you can be thrown off, and I as a sim racer, it's like when you get in an argument with someone before the race because you crashed because you met someone before, for example in iRacing there's splits, and I usually race the same drivers in the same splits, and I've seen many drivers, and then they always want to pay back for what you have done, what you have said. So you always have to be careful. These guys travel around the world together, basically. So, you have to kind of have some kind of respect between the drivers.
Yeah, of course. I mean, some of these guys, they've raced alongside each other for a few seasons now. So I think obviously there is a lot of respect among these drivers. Some of these drivers are very old and experienced, So, I guess the respect that they've earned from other drivers, it's there.
And as we were just talking about, Mortelli went second, and really just actually ahead of Fosbury. So solid lap by Mortelli. Mortelli underrated completely. Newer a few drivers are going to start their laps. Some drivers are going to complete theirs. Factors in on a green lap. You always want to see that, and that's a complete fart at 17th.
That was anticlimactic, to say the least, from Rifki Fakhrizadeh. Gonna see Miran FG across the line. He does not improve either. Halil Shahin is next across, I believe, as he's gonna go across the line. It's P7 for him as he goes ahead of Kai Terezhny by about 0.03 of a second. Then we have Will Neller on a flyer here as well, as he is gonna go around the final chicane. And Neller does not improve. What about his fellow countryman Jared Fosbury? And he does not improve either. Javier Way across the line can't set an improvement. Neither does Andrei Sazonov, who is fastest at the moment. Fellow Russian Maxim Titkov doesn't improve either. What about Rosetta Martinez? Martinez, no improvement.
Yeah, Terezhny has actually opted to stay in the pits, or I don't know, maybe he was actually the one who was just set a lap maybe before someone else, and we didn't see it. But yeah, he's been staying in the pits for okay. Mackenzie goes. I thought that was second place, but no, that's 20th. Adventure, can he crack the top 10? Usually a driver who has a lot of experience in that field, but no, doesn't quite do it. Clark, no, nothing. A lot of just I think that everybody's just run out of road, basically road. I think.
Yeah, the track doesn't seem to be changing too much either, considering how rubbered in it. As you did say previously in the session, the more rubbered in it is, the more grip there's going to be on track, and then that equals faster lap times. But we aren't seeing too many major improvements from the drivers. I mean, we've seen a few here and there, but it's not it's not as big as it was in other sessions, for example.
Maybe it's just the track is maybe like dropping in temperature, or just there's just too much, like not enough in between, in the corners, not a lot of drivers spaced out. Who the hell knows? we can't really predict what happens. It's just it's their choice. And so I think so it's like 5 minutes until the end of the qualifying. We've seen Fosbury in pole position, provisional pole position. Now it's Sazano who's in pole position. I think I gotta say, between Parrish, Fosbury, Moratelli, and Sazonov, I gotta say I think I'll go with Sazano. I think that's just I think that's a safe bet. I gotta say, I'm just gonna play some blackjack and just stand where I am right now.
Yeah, well then I'll stand as well. I'm gonna go for Andres Sazonov.
Well, you cheeky asshole. But yeah, that's nice. That's nice here, following in my footsteps. But yeah, Moratelli looks like he is. I gotta say, Moratelli has had like some. I gotta say, he reminds me of like he can really have a good, a solid race. It just he's not having the results. He's always just like he is in like in the top 3, top 5, and then he just goes away. Just like I don't want to race anymore. It's like Kimi like in 2018. He could probably like be faster, but he just gets like enough of a result where we know that he's good. I gotta say, so Mortelli, one to still watch out for, in my humble opinion. I think he's gonna be one of the drivers who's gonna start their first lap, unless the race director could cycle through. I think he is. I think, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be the first man to start a lap.
So yeah, actually, that was a solid onboard. I think we could see the scenery around the track and the and the like the textures multiplying by themselves. So let's gotta inter reality, inter game type shit right there. Look at that exhaust. It looks so. It actually on that car, it looks so cool. I have to say, like it's so motorsport. It's so like the petrol, the smell. The Mortelli is gonna be held up. I think it is Maxim Titkov. The Mortelli absolutely just completely deflated to see someone in front, and his pace just completely gone. So Mortelli won't be improving.
I think this is the best way to sum up Mortelli's season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree on that. Yeah, that is really disappointing. But we'll stay on board because we do want to see how Mortelli can navigate through. And that's the thing. Following another car, it might seem easy, but as someone is in front of you, you lose downforce. When you under braking, you lose a lot of downforce, and it's hard. You have to kind of brake earlier. You have to kind of expect what the other driver will do in front. And that's the thing. Expect, because you can't predict. Prediction would mean just like throwing up a random number, and then just choosing whatever it is. No, these guys are top level drivers. So I mean, braking is really the hardest part. Even if with those rear downforce wings, to help them, it can still be costly.
Yeah, of course. There's stuff like dirty air and whatnot that affects when you're trying to follow a car, and expecting for what the person ahead is going to do is a difficult thing. For anyone who's done sim racing, that is true.
Yeah,
You know.
a few drivers not getting a lap, and Teresias looks like he is going to have some bountiful slipstream. Can he take a solid? Yes, he does. Fourth place for Teresias, solid. Absolutely timed that to perfection.
Yeah, that was a great lap from Kai Szczesny, and he got the slipstream as well. That was really, really provided a massive helping hand for the Polish driver. As Fakhrizyan goes across the line, and he can't improve. He's going to stay P18.
So that's really not. I gotta say, it looks like it's a championship leading curse. Just already in the after just leading it. I don't know, man. I think I do not wish anyone ill any kind of bad luck to that. But Xavier Reed goes across the line, doesn't improve. Also, Sahin looks like he's the solid qualifying session. I think for him in eighth. I don't think he's gonna be mad about Mevchi. You absolutely suck and don't improve.
Yeah, baby.
I
P22,
looks
here
like
we go.
looks like you had a bit of an error. Let's see the racer, and he was taking some. So let's see, maybe it was didn't catch the car, or did you just go wide? What happened? Let's see. We don't. We have to go. I'm scanning lap. I think you ran out of.
I think I just suck.
I think you ran out of talent. All right. So Sazonov comes across the line. He is probably not gonna improve. You know, the Marshal is. I gotta say that Marshal is the bravest guy I think I've ever seen. Just like still waving the flag, not near like the stand where or the mechanics come to wave and celebrate. But yeah, he's still waving that flag, and not a lot of improvements. Titkov didn't improve. Michael Clark, can he do anything? Can he just continue his momentum? No, stays in 14th. So that's the qualifying session over, and Andrei Sazonov takes another pole position. So that's about, let's see, is it three pole positions from this season alone? Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
No? Yeah, oof, bro. I gotta say that's a thing. It was actually James Sturt who was like we would have expected him to be the one to take a lot of pole positions, but now Andrei Sazonov just, if he's gonna get points this way, ought to do it this way. Andrei Sazonov in first, Kaya Moratelli in second, Jared Fosbury in fourth, Kai Tereznia, the former championship leader, having a solid session still. Will Parrish there in fifth place, and I think you know what to do.
Yeah, Bellanur will line up P6, and then it is Will Neller in P7. Then we have Halil Shahin starting 8th, followed by Muhammad Usman Hamid in P9, and then Javier Wee in P10.
Maxim Titkov in 11th, Adam Wolf in 12th, Mateusz Turbik there in 13th, Michael Clark 14th for Zena Martina with a four-port qualifying session for their camp, only in 15th.
Yeah, James Sturt starts in P16, followed by Lian Campana in 17th, and we have championship leader Rifki Fakhrizyan all the way down in P18, and Daniel Adventure in P19, followed by fellow countryman Jay McKenzie in P20.
Victor Bobo in 21st, and you, well, actually, you know what? I would have given you 23rd place and just have like someone like in front of you start from. But yeah, that concludes the grid for this Assen qualifying in Netherlands. Oof, I have to say this was a solid session, really close. This is probably one of the few times I do not know who's going to win the race, because we have a lot of contenders, and not because of the top five. Rifki Fakhrizyan, he's gonna come back. He's always, remember, race setups. Maybe he's looking for a race setup. Remember, it's a long lap. Maybe he's experimenting something new. You never know. Mateusz Tervik also, maybe he's just doing that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this session?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's been a quiet session. We haven't seen major improvements from everyone, but still, you got some guys up there. Kaya Moratelli, especially in P2, he could be on for a great result. And as you said, we don't know if these drivers are really giving it their all in qualifying or sacrificing a bit of quality to try and set up for the race. So, we could have a very close battle for the lead, I think.
Yeah, and I do believe this is going to be. And remember, we still haven't seen some real rain since Mugello. So it's the sixth race of the season, and 3 races ago we had, what do you think it was? It was rain. So maybe Assen could throw up a classic, or just a regular old regular old competitive a DTM race, not GP4 DTM race, because that doesn't make any goddamn sense. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you have enjoyed our commentating and a little bit of the qualifying session. That doesn't matter, but yeah. I hope everybody is just feeling okay. Join us at the same time tomorrow for this. Actually, in my own honest opinion, I think this is going to be unpredictable. Mechi, my co-commentator, is going to obviously join me too. Have a nice evening, guys. Farewell.
Yeah. Goodbye.